football scrimmage today. Head coach Jeff Monken. What was it like? I think one of the things that stood out to me was Dwayne Coleman getting a chance to play and getting time on the field, getting set to be a backup to Bryson Daly.
We gave all the quarterbacks a lot of reps. Cale Helms got some reps. Ethan Washington got some reps, all with the veteran group. But I think all those guys are doing really well. And Dwayne is such a good leader and such a confident guy. He's done a really good job growing from a year ago to now, and it shows. And he's got a lot of reps in preseason camp. We've really limited Bryson. He played so much a year ago that those other guys have been able to get some reps. He's kind of been at the top of that group.
And offensive line today, you have a sophomore at right guard, number 71, Pablo Ginelli, and we also saw Connor Finucane splitting time with Ruby Law at left tackle, and Phil Castellanos and Luke Scott on your offensive line. How do you feel like that group is coming together?
That's a good group, and we've got some depth there. Paulo Generali's playing the right guard position, and he's a really good, tough, rugged guy, the kind of guys we like to play with in this offense. And I feel good about that group. As long as we can keep them healthy, there's enough depth there that I don't know that we're going to feel like all five got to play every snap of the game. We'll keep them fresh and hopefully some endurance and longevity as we go through the season.
Defensive line, Nick Backus, 56, was getting quite a bit of time. And how do you feel about your defensive line? You were complimentary last week of Cody Winokur, and you got Deshauntes Gray, and of course Kyle Lewis.
Nick Bucky's is a freshman. He moved up. Really, he's been practicing with the scout team, but we got some guys that we got plenty of guys sick. We kind of went through the D-line room and cough, cold, flu, whatever it is, and we were a little depleted there for the scrimmage today. So he got to move up, and he's a good, tough young player. Got a lot of growing to do, but I'm excited about our freshman class, and it's good to see guys like Sean Gray and some guys that maybe don't have as much experience getting in there and having a chance to play, and so hopefully we can build some depth there as well.
So? Another offensive line question. Lucas Scott, seeing him on the outside more, is that something that you think is gonna work out for you guys? Him?
Right now he's playing tackle, but obviously he's had a lot of experience playing guard, so he's a guy that can kind of swing there. I think our goal is to always be able to have the best five available players in the game at the same time, and if that means a guard is injured and Lucas, with his combination of playing guard and a different tackle coming in, is a better combination, we'll do that. And he can play guard, we know that. I really think he's doing a good job at tackle, and having Paulo, who I just mentioned at guard, who we're really confident in, they're playing side by side. I think it's a good pair there on the right side.
Well, Connor Finucane, was there a certain amount of snaps you wanted to see out of him today, or was the plan to play him a certain amount of time? Or
no, not necessarily. We wanted to get all of those guys that we think are in the mix as travel squad guys to get some reps. I didn't put a target on a number for anybody. I just told the coaches, give the guys that need the reps what they need, and it might be more for some and less for others, and really let them determine what was going to be best.
How has he come along in a week a week from the last time we talked?
Physically, he's got some work to do, and we talked about that in the first couple of days when he came back. Just weight gain and strength and football condition, but the playbook, he knows the playbook, and he's really smart football player, and he's prepared for that.
The rise of Samari Howard I've seen in this preseason scrimmage, at least. What do you think of what he's done so far?
He had a good spring, and he's had a good fall camp. So, tough player. I think he's just one of those guys that's going to find a way to make some plays, whether it be blocking or carrying the football. Made some plays catching the ball, and he doesn't necessarily stand out. You see, wow, look, a really long guy, or when he runs, that it's a track meet and he's faster than everybody else. He's not a big, put together kind of guy. Just a guy. He's a slot back, a tough guy, and kind of as I've gone through my years in this offense and here at Army the last 10 years, he's the kind of guy that we play with and we'll have a chance to win with. And everybody else has got to play well. He's got to play well, but we're excited about him. He's a good football player.
We saw Jabril Williams down the ball inside the 2-yard line or something. No surprise there, right, with him making special teams plays. How is he developing on the defensive side at corner, and do you think how's that going for him?
That was a terrific play, and he takes such pride in that, and he's really come along as a guy at corner, a depth player. He's not a starter, may not be a backup, but he's a guy that we really kind of thought maybe he'll just be a special teams player, but he's had a good camp, and I know Coach Dixon is encouraged with the progress he's made at his defensive position. So hopefully we'll be able to use him as a guy for depth, and whether it be at corner or somewhere else on defense.
Let's go to Zoom. Ken McMillan, go ahead.
Hi, Jeff. Did you see what you wanted to see today? What did you like?
There were some good plays. I really was pleased that we got some kicking plays in. That's good to get on film, have a chance to evaluate. There's probably a lot of things we're going to have to fix there. Some of the guys we've been talking about, just encouraged that we got some players that maybe don't have as much experience that are now in the mix and making some plays. I was really pleased with our young guys. I think we have a good freshman class. I'm encouraged watching those guys, watching them compete, how physical they are. We've got a lot of long, good-looking players that need development, strength, and an off season to get them where we need them to be. But I think there's some good things out there, but still plenty to work on.
Beyond normal concerns, what does concern you after 2 weeks then?
Oh, are we ready to tackle people in space? Are we ready to go out and block people in space? Guys that are playing with a competitive edge in a game and they want to win. It's different in practice. It's different against the scouts. So those are the things that you just don't know until you play somebody else. And I guess we'll find out in a couple of Fridays.
Was it a good second week of practice? And has anybody emerged? People we haven't really talked about.
No, I don't know that there are any guys at this point that after the first couple of weeks that we didn't anticipate. A few young guys that we mentioned. I'm really encouraged with Ethan Washington and his progress over the last 3 weeks. He's got to gain some maturity and just confidence as a player. He's an immature kid. He just maturity in terms of playing, but he's a very gifted player, and so I'm very hopeful for him as a foresee the future. We got some young tight ends, and likely we're going to have to figure out a way to get them to learn and get them in the mix. We're just not as deep there, but Parker Pulaski, who's playing there along with David Crossan, has had a really good camp. He's been nicked up a couple of times, but really impressed with him and how physical he is. He's got good hands. He's athletic, and so there's some guys that are starting to come out of the woodwork.
And lastly, what is the emphasis the next couple practices?
I think just hone in on the game plan and try to get a game plan together that we think we can work on and master over the next couple of weeks. There's some scenarios, special teams wise, situational football things that we need to work on and actually be able to practice in a scrimmage type situation. So we'll practice those this week and get to them on Friday, and our goal will be by Friday to have every scenario covered, or at least have covered it in practice, so that we feel confident that if those situations come up in a game, that we're prepared for it and ready.
Joe Iacano.
Hey, Coach Monken, you just mentioned kind of implementing and installing game plan and situations for the next couple of weeks. Have you begun to do any kind of install or prep for the opener against Lehigh at this point? And if not, will that happen next week or not really until the week of the game?
We started that pretty seriously on Monday, so we've been going all this week, kind of prepping for the game. So we'll continue that as we go forward, starting on Monday again.
And kind of based on today's scrimmage and kind of the outcomes, how close are you guys to kind of finalizing the depth chart for week 1?
I think it's kind of coming together. I mean, if we had to play this afternoon, we'd know who the starters would be. I don't know if those guys will still be the starters 2 Fridays from now, but probably a good number of them will be. It starts to take shape, and after 3 weeks, we've got a pretty good idea.
Thanks, Coach Monken.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys?
Coach, you had a player out there, 51, Andon Thomas, is getting an opportunity. Tell us a little bit about him, if you would.
Andon is a guy that he's moved up just from the ranks of the scout team and being a special teams guy, and he got hurt last year. He actually was positioned in preseason camp last year, I think really challenging for a starting position, and he got injured, and that set him back. But he's earned his way back to the top of the depth chart. Athletic and really smart. He has an uncanny ability to react very quickly, see the ball. He's not lightning fast or any of those things. He's just really smart, really savvy football player.
I just want to ask you, you're breaking camp this week. School starts for everyone, all the cadets on Monday. What is it like when you have all of your players living in the football building for a couple of weeks?
I love it. This is my favorite time of the year. I love preseason camp. It's an opportunity to bond and grow as a team and a brotherhood. It's all football all day long, and so it gives us opportunities to meet multiple times a day and get workouts, and guys get treatments and get plenty of sleep and great nutrition, and so it's a huge positive, and I wish it could last longer.